the games, like analyzing the data, telling you this is what they're going to do. Like, you don't have to do it for yourself. Just focus on your individual gameplay and how you can succeed. Like, if
in this one,
I think I have more faith in EG's draft just because I haven't seen this Quincy draft before. It really confuses me, to be honest with you.
Neil.
Were it any other team, I would be immediately super against, but I'm only partially against Quincy Crew. I think they got lost in the sauce. I think Troll Warlord has complicated things one too many times. I'm going to go EG.
Okay, well, we're going to throw it over to Sunsfan, who is delighted about this troll pick. He did a little dance when it was picked. He can't wait to see it. I'm sure you can't either. Let's get into the game.
Welcome, everybody. This is what we've all been waiting for. For 6 long weeks, one match, the only one that we knew was going to matter in the end, is EG versus Quincy Crew. Sunsfan with Purge, best of 3 to find out who goes to the major. Or if EG wins, there's a 3-way tie. So this, obviously, all the members of Nouns are watching this series with bated breath, rooting for Quincy Crew.
They are, yeah. That would be the spooky thing for sure, that they have to play tiebreakers, because their chances of doing equally as well against Quincy and EG is maybe less confident as time goes on. But it would be amazing for them if they made it to the major, that's for sure. They do spot that there's an observer ward with Quinn here. We'll see if they have a sentry available. We'll see if they end up dewarding it, though. It might be covered by Abed, so maybe they don't feel comfortable putting the sentry down just yet. But yeah, the FATA 5 Sven with 0 cosmetics. It's interesting. If there's any player that I see playing these weird heroes as 5, it's definitely FATA these days. He's great at it. And frankly, Sven on paper is really good this game. There's a lot of physical damage coming from the EG side here.
Yeah, well, he knows how to use his stun. That's a pretty hard one to miss, as Crit takes a ton of damage as a result. As you can see, the bounty runes have gone to each respective side, though, so they'll trade that out evenly. And I'm not going to...
top net worth.
That's true. That is true. That one wolf, very, very delicious. I don't want to look too into this, Purge, but when they were picking their heroes, so we learned this season because we're scrubs, but apparently the players can't see what the other team has selected for their specific heroes until the game has already started, right? So there's no reason to wait other than talking. And they didn't pick their last 3 heroes for a very long time, which means that they were really asking themselves who is playing. Like, they didn't know what positions they were playing, which, you know, that happens with super flex lineups like this. But like you said, Sven position 5 is what they're left with, and we'll see how good it is. I'm skeptical. I think we all are, but should be interesting at the very least, because it's really weird.
Yeah. It is pretty weird. Some of the lane stuff could be part of the reason they discussed for a while, like which lane did they want to be a little bit stronger with the Dawnbreaker, but I think Sven should do fine. I mean, he's got pretty solid base damage, 66. His base movement speed is incredible, actually, at 325. I didn't realize it was that high. So base model alone, this hero makes for a decent support. Or his mana pool is not that bad either. 291 with some mangoes and a magic stick. So he can actually bring it to the Shadow Shaman decently. And then once they get to later stages of the game, Warcry is excellent due to all the physical damage that EG's playing with. The Shard's going to be good too, gives your team 7 armor. I wouldn't be surprised if he does some kind of like either a Treads Blink build, an Arcane Blink, or if he just goes something like Vlad's into the old Wraith Pact.
Yeah, and we should mention, of course, a few years ago, it was pretty popular for Sven to be a support during a small segment of time. But that was, I'm pretty certain, was mostly position 4. So 5 is even rarer if you look back in history.
Yeah. It was not a lot of time that it was popular as a support before. There are certainly some carries that have never been popular supports, and Sven did have his time in the sun, and now it's back again.
Indeed. As Quinn looking for the rune here. Looks like he's going to be able to bottle it up. I mean, on the other side, though, EG, they have a it's very clear what their objective is, and that is to push. As Fly taking a lot of damage here, has his Shadow Wave available. He's going to take the hammer, which is going to force out that Fairy Fire. MSS, just a little bit of chip damage to go across from each side. But they have a ridiculously good pushing team. I would say every hero outside of Ember Spirit is just exceptional. Once you get like this big power spike of being able to actually push these towers as a group. Like the 5-man lineup is kind of insane for EG. The question is, does Quincy Crew have what they Like, did they pick enough to try to stem the bleeding?
I mean, one way to beat pushing lineups is to have better team fight. That way, when your opponents do group as 5, that you can just kind of use your overall better team fight spells to defeat them and thus defend your towers. So having like Dawnbreaker ulti goes a long way, as does Puck ulti. They could hypothetically do some like Coil with Dawn ulti, with Razor running in BKB, sapping damage from Luna, so Luna only does Eclipse damage. That could be a really good way that that they end up winning fights, especially if they can sustain through the other damage using Warcry and stuff like that. So on paper, there is potential for dealing with the push, but the other way to do it is to get pickoffs, and they also are okay in that category too with Puck. But Quinn's having a bit of a tough time here, getting harassed a lot. They're actually equal on last hit, so he's doing more than fine, but harassment has definitely been a common thing, and Crit is in position to potentially punish and get a kill here.
He sure is.
Quinn will go for a stack into a pull. Crit can't get over there without getting spotted though, so don't really see him dying here unless Crit moves in now.
I'm sure he's been called missing for quite a while, but like you said, Quinn is exceptionally low right now, has the Fairy Fire still there, and it's actually...
He's not going to gamble.
Orbing out.
See, he could have hypothetically gone for top water rune, right? But Crit's been missing, like you said, and as a result, if he goes top, orbs over there, Johnson, that's just Crit setting up a kill, and Puck ends up feeding, so Quinn doing the safe thing. Yep. Nicely done here.
Which is going to cost him a couple creeps in XP, but at the same time, you could say the same thing for Crit, who's there for quite a while, just not getting any experience. But that means Nightfall is doing quite well in terms of just the experience alone. He's level 4 in this off lane, sitting on 20 and 2 in terms of the CS, while you are at 23 and 3. So relatively even CS-wise, but Nightfall obviously with the XP advantage early on in this game. I mean, talk to me about Troll. This is a hero that... I don't know what to think. It's one of my favorite heroes to play. Not that that matters in this cat. Yeah, I think he's fun, but his ult just seems super awful most of the time because you can't really control what you're doing.
It's very counterable right now. There's a lot of really simple solutions that beat it as well. Nice play by Fada there. He manages to block the large camp again, despite it getting dewarded. But yeah, the hero is has some issues for sure. The reason they picked him probably is because he's a strong laning carry, and they didn't know what their opponents were going to pick yet. Obviously, they already saw the Lycan, but they feel confident there in that matchup. And the AoE blind is really nice. The missed chance is one way to give your team some safety when the Lycan goes dive in on your supports, or if he gets on top of somebody like Luna or other heroes, he will be good at you know, giving some space to his team, basically, while also giving them a really nice laking win condition. But it takes a lot of time to get there, usually, is the problem.
That Fly gets off his grave, and Crit actually coming in to try to counteract this kill onto Fly. And looks like it's going to be successful at that, at the very least. MSS, though, will live. A nice rotation from Crit. But now he's kind of stuck down here. Have to try to transition to that mid lane. Is Quinn going to get off that Waning Rift, looking for the rune, but looks like it is going to be top. It is a DD, so Fata kind of holding that for him, although Abed gets off the Remnant, but he has very low mana. Can they punish this? Pops the wand, and he's pretty much full.
Yeah, if Quinn has 6, maybe they can kill potentially, because they could stop his slights and his ultis, but with the DD, yeah, it's a scary amount of damage. And Quinn once again protects himself against the Shaman. This time a ward helped him spot this. And while Crit has been in position to make these really amazing plays, Quinn just being safe and his team communicating, in this case the ward, has just made sure that Crit doesn't get gold and experience advantage to compensate those good positions.
So EG, in terms of just the net worth distribution, have a 1K lead right now, but obviously quite even. I mean, I think that's the one thing about EG that they've been pretty consistent with outside of maybe the first couple weeks, which anytime they make a roster change, I shouldn't even say that, even when they're consistent with their roster, they kind of underperform in the early stages of the DPC, as we've seen many a time. But they are very good at laning. That's one thing that is 100%. Yeah. Lezao, the static link, not a very long duration there.
Yeah, he needed to protect himself, though. Fly's done a really good job in this DPC season with Dazzle and making the hero look very good at pressuring the first couple levels. So if he gets aggressive on you with Poison Touch and he's got a Grave ready to go to extend his life, oftentimes it's going to lead to a bad trade for the other team. So, yep, got to protect himself with the static link there.
We are 7.5 minutes in. No first blood, by the way. I just noticed that. Obviously, very hype matchup. Both teams know how important this game is.
Yeah, absolutely not for lack of trying. I mean, Crits roamed consistently here to try to punish Quinn. Quinn has taken some last hit and experience sacrifice to get those runes, or to get refills. He is 6. Abed has like a full level over him, unfortunately. Just going to make it a little bit easier for him to snowball.
Yeah,
but yeah, look at EG's pressure. Even Nightfall rotated over.
That's a lot of EG members in the mid lane. That means they want to push this tier 1 tower.
Yep. They have Helm and level 6 on Nightfall, so they are ready to pressure this building.
Yeah, Abed going to refill on mana, but Nightfall and company focusing on the tier 1. Fata gets off the Stormhammer, which does little to dissuade the likes of EG. Abed. I mean, Quinn getting pretty low, and we're going to see a pause now coming out from Arteezy.
You can't just pause the game.
And that's a very
crucial point. It's a video game with real players. This is going to be so hard to defend. I mean, they're orbing it. We've got MSS moving over 2. He's level 4, but there's just so much stuff here. Plus Dazzle healing it with Shadow Wave. I feel like they're just going to beat on this tower with Glyph gone now. They don't have a catapult, at least. That's kind of an interesting thing about this rotation. They timed it based on the Helm, not on a catapult.
Right.
So that part is going to help elongate the tower's survivability.
Yeah, Fata, he's going to get hexed. Not a whole lot of follow-up. As you can see, EG just focused on the tower and the tower alone. As we're now 8.5 minutes in. We're going to see a tier 1 tower go down before a first blood, which is not very common these days. And Quincy crew, they're just going to have to let it go, like you said. Not enough to really push back as of yet. That's why they picked Lycan, because it's going to make killing their towers a lot easier. Now Nightfall moves into the enemy jungle as well to steal creeps. This is really nicely done here. Troll is a pretty darn good stack clearer, but you know, Nightfall takes control of one, it auto attacks the other one, so he's going to undermine the stacking that Sven did, which is painful because Fata's net worth is probably pretty low. Yeah, it's only sitting at 1,000. He does not have boots yet. He's saving up for it. His counter push was quite pathetic. He's doing 170 damage Stormhammer nukes. I mean, he's playing a Sven 5. What do you expect?
He is playing a Sven 5. Yeah, they did not have that much counter push there to slow that down. It felt like all he was buying was like the second and 1.6 seconds of stun. That was basically all he was getting out of it. So that was a bit of a bummer. But Yuar is in the jungle. His net worth is equal to Luna's, so that part is okay. But a 2k advantage here for EG is pretty decent at 10 minutes into the game. So not looking bad for him, especially when their pressure is gonna keep coming with the Luna when she gets online.
Yeah, but Quincy crew this time, as they see the pressure on the tier 1 tower top, they will do their best to defend it as Yuar wants to farm up a little bit more. He is going for the Maelstrom as the first item, obviously for the farming capabilities that come with it. And after that, I mean, we haven't seen that much troll, I guess. Are you expecting a specific item path past that? Obviously, BKB is going to be a part of it at some point, whether that's, I doubt that's right after Maelstrom, but maybe it lines up with what they want to do.
He might have to because of the shackles. It's a little bit scary, but kind of depends. The raw disables that EG's playing with is not that strong, so maybe he can delay it a bit longer than normal.
Yep. EG, they're smoked up. They can see the courier delivering stuff to MSS, so they know that he's back here.
Tome.
He's gonna get it.
All right, that gives him a 6.
MSS, Sleight of Fist, so they definitely know he's here. Attempting to get off the ult, but he's gonna get hexed immediately. Gets off the hammer, but likely will fall. And finally, first blood goes the way of EG as Abed clears it, and they take the tier 1 tower as well.
I can't believe that was first blood. I thought somebody had died in the mid lane for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. First blood doesn't mean the same at 11 minutes, that's for sure. The relative gold that it gives you is just not quite as high, but 3k gold advantage for EG is what we're expecting with this Luna pick and them having Lycan. They definitely shifted really nicely into this push lineup with their draft and puts Quincy crew on the back foot, especially when they're a little under leveled. They also put the tome on Dawnbreaker, of course, which means Fata does not get it. Not the end of the world, because God's strength on a sports fan isn't exactly incredible.
Do you even level it? Honestly, I don't even think you level it.
Generally, I would say no, probably not. At least not until Stormhammer and Warcar are maxed out, because those abilities do scale pretty darn good. But hey, at least Quincy crew, Leslaw's had a good time. His net worth is relatively high. He's able to take, not get the tower. Actually, Catapult stole that one, unfortunately. But they're keeping the net worth close-ish.
I mean, I think the net worth difference is basically just the tower difference, right? Other than that, it's actually relatively even. But obviously, that is a big boost for EG, and we'll see if they're able to take advantage of it. I mean, if this goes Well, I was going to say, if this goes late game, who would you favor? But EG's lineup doesn't really fall off that much. I mean, Lycan can fall off, but like even the split pushing mechanic, we saw that earlier today with Nigma. Even though they did lose, something you always have to watch out for with the split pushing Lycan at some point in the game.
It is not the worst in the ultra late game on the EG side for sure. Luna does tend to like have some issues in ultra late game when you talk about like Scotties and stuff like that. I guess Troll technically has to worry about that a little bit too, but I think the most powerful thing that EG has going for them in this mid game is just the power of Grave, to be honest. They've got really good heals. They've got Shallow Grave. If they can use Shallow Grave to undercut some of the first couple Quincy rotations, like undercut some Dream Coil stuff, undercut some Solar Guardian types combos, that's going to really
they go into Roche Pit
into like a huge advantage.
Yep, Serpent Wards in the Roche Pit, and this is another advantage of having some towers go your way, is Roshan is available to you. And it is going to be scanned out, so Quincy crew do know this is happening, but I don't think they can really contest. So this likely will be a freebie for EG.
Yep. Another advantage of the Shadow Shaman here. The wards still do a lot of damage to Roche. You can't necessarily like cheese it by yourself anymore, but the total damage they deal to Roche is still super high.
Tower is under attack.
Nice. They just keep advancing their interest in this game in a really nice way here. Fly even kind of farming in an aggressive place. He's not that concerned here. If he does get ganked, maybe he dies, but at least it's not first blood. His cores would be survivable, and he's still getting levels as a result by himself. So level 7 on him, actually. So he's pretty content. He's going to queue up a shard. Great solution against Puck to get the 2-second hex. So yeah, great position for EG. They're in decent control. But as long as Quincy keeps farming, eventually they're going to hit a timing where they're going to be able to take a fight. And it's probably BKB timing for the Troll and the Razor. Once they get those, then they're going to probably run at their opponents, get some pickoffs through Grave.
Yeah, and on the Razor, Leslau, not that far away, 1,200 or so to finish that bad boy up. And we'll see if that is the go time like you're talking about, because that will align pretty nicely with Yawar on the Troll Warlord. The fact that Yawar is top net worth is actually pretty impressive, considering he's kind of got pushed out of his jungle. But I mean, the fact that he's keeping up with the Luna at this stage is, and the fact that a lot of his stacks were taken out actually.
Yeah, they were like little two stacky type things. It wasn't the worst for sure, but Fada hit 6. What is he gonna do?
There's no way he hit.
It was Warcry. Yeah, it was Warcry. Yep, that's a great choice.
If he picked his ult, that would have been a misclick, I'm pretty sure. As Fata getting a nice mango.
I love that he has the shovel here. It's like he's fighting with a shovel.
Yeah, Quinn. Okay, Fata, he might be the sacrifice here. The Solar Guardian isn't going to do that much. He gets crit down big time. And SS comes in, but he's all alone as the rest of Quincy crew are near this Quinn ultimate onto 3 heroes. So low from EG, but they're kiting them pretty nicely as Leslau gets hexed and brought down. Double kill for Nightfall as Fata stuns the creeps. Not that much damage done to the tier 2 tower as Nightfall's ult will end. But now the Fortify comes out, so it ends up being a 1-for-0.
Yeah, they got a buyback out of it, but it was just Fada, so I think that's completely good for the Quincy crew side. They still have Troll ulti too. The Whirling Axes made a big difference there. Keep an eye how long that the Razor was able to stay alive. Fada landing his ultimate, the Solar Guardian comes in a little bit, and then things looked really bad. The great positioning from Crit to instantly hex Leslau here. That means he's not getting a damage sap even while he's disabled here. And they actually did a lot of damage to the backline on the EG side too. Leslau looks super dead, but the Whirling Axes bought him a lot of survivability from the Lycan summons. So not all that bad for Quincy crew here.
Yeah, normally if we... I mean, it's only 3-0, but they do have a 3K lead, which normally at this stage would be pretty decent. But like we said, it's mostly because of the towers. Crew. Yep. I mean, the big question mark is still Sven, like what his purpose really is, and maybe it's never going to come, but we'll find out at some point.
It's Warcry for sure. I'm not too concerned about the Sven myself. It's more the fact that they're surviving dives, and maybe not this one, although that's a very fast pig.
Yep.
Okay.
Pig pull for the win.
He must have missed the Searing Chains or something.
Look good.
Either way, they'll turn it into yet another tower for EG.
Hey.
I think it's okay though, because again, what EG wants to do, they tried to basically punish the BKB timing on that top tier 2 push. I mean, imagine how different the game is if they have like a decisive teamfight win there. They take the tier 2, they take Shrine, next rush is almost guaranteed going for them, you know. But in all these dives they've had, Quincy is like barely getting out of them by the skin of their teeth, and that means that their BKB timings when they come means they're going to only be behind by like 3 to 4K instead of like 6 to 7K. And that means that fight with their BKB timing, much higher chance they do a good one.
MSS, he looks super dead. That is a dragon with fire. Usually that equates to a lot of damage, and this is going to be another tower unless Quincy Crew want to defend. They do pop the fortification this time, but still a lot of creeps for Nightfall with that Helm of the Overlord, which means this push will be very difficult to actually contest. And the Blink Dagger now online for Quinn, so he can get off those coils a little bit easier now.
They are still pretty far from the BKBs. 1,000 for Yawar, and he's got it.
Scanning for enemies.
The Razor has...
They're going to try for it. They haven't shown this Blink Dagger, so this is the reveal for them. Obviously, like you said, the BKB is not quite online, but as we see on the screen, Arteezy does have his. That'll be... Oh! Bazla actually attacks out of the smoke, revealing the illusion. That'll put this to an end, and perhaps Yawar is just going to be chilling until that BKB.
He's scared right now. He doesn't know where the EG side is. And keep in mind, Crit has a Blink Dagger himself with all this nice net worth with his Philly Stone. He's got 3 points Hex, 4 points Shackles. He is a really, really scary hero on the map right now. Because if they move undetected across the map, that means any core that shows is going to get chain disabled. And yeah, they've got Solar Guardian to try to turn it around a bit. Do they have the Locket on Dawnbreaker? They do. This is really big. A lot of heal that he can pump into his teammates. A decent amount at least. It's 45, it being increased, so it's not the most right now, but... And let's see if Yawar reads the smoke here.
Yep, he is
I don't even know if he... moving
around to farm. Oh boy. Arteezy's smoke does pop. They see Yawar. Instant Hex from Crit. And followed up by an Eclipse. Goodbye, Yawar. That is his first death of the game. Very, very important one.
Thanks be to you.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is about to be Radiant's top rubble. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower ain't a tower no more.
The rune of invisibility.
Sun, gather up.
Holy heck, you bros are owning.
Dire's top tower is about to be Radiant's top rubble. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning for enemies.
The rune of haste.
Dominating.
Cannot be.
Him and that
Immortality.
I never messed up that bad. Fortune's changed. Radiant structures are fortified.
You are most gracious.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The cavalry has arrived.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Master kill. Very nice.
Die with honor. Well,
Dire's bottom tower is under Who knew Dire's bottom barracks had so many enemies? It really fun if we ain't all here. Radiant!